Hey, this is Janie at the League-Kempner House in Galveston. We ended our last video with just 17 days before the wedding, and then mini disaster strikes with weather and car trouble. Good morning. Today's sob story is brought to you by the rain that moved through. Our pond is not that full, but that's because it's been so dry lately. We had, I think, close to 3 inches of rain. So it was full to the top and running out to the street. But once the rain quit, it soaked into the ground. So a lot of it is gone because the ground was so dry. And it is a Monday. And I'm here waiting on Chico Tile to show up. I've decided to hire somebody to put down the backer board and the mortar bed in the shower just because I'm worried about staying on schedule. We're also supposed to have our plumbing inspection this morning. So hopefully in about an hour, Jacob, the plumber, will show up and the inspector will show up and we'll get that done. And my husband was going to come yesterday, but he didn't because of the torrential driving rain. He stayed home and thought he'd get an early start this morning. But this morning he got up and had a nail in the truck tire. So we have a spare car. Long story about that. I'll just tell you the story. So his back is really bad, and his old truck he can sit in comfortably, but it's really old and has so many miles on it and needed a new transmission and a new engine. So we bought a new to us used Honda Passport for him to drive, but it hurts his back and he can't really drive it. So we're going to sell that and get rid of it and try to come up with a new solution. But he couldn't drive that down here because our daughter that lives nearby also woke up with a hole, a nail in her tire and a flat tire. So she was in a panic to get to work. So she took the Passport. So he is stranded with no car in Houston. So we'll lose a day, and we lost yesterday. So that's 2 days we're going to lose. So I'm not too anxious about that. We're still on track, and if everything goes well today, it'll be fine. But I thought I would do a little project while I'm waiting on everybody. So let me show you. Our board member Letitia and I spent all day yesterday out shopping and running errands, and long story, we ended up in Winnie, Texas, which is halfway between, well, it's more than halfway between here and Beaumont. And I drove all the way to Larry's Trader Days. That's usually full of vendors, but they had a rain scare, so the vendors didn't come. But I found my lucky penny. We were trying to come up with a solution for the floor in here because I want to use this original marble slab that was under the toilet. And as we talked about, we need to come up with a permanent solution for the floor, because if we do any kind of temporary installation of the toilet, then we mess up the plumbing and we'll have to start over underneath, and it will cost us somewhere between $800 and $1,000 to redo that. So we don't want to waste the money, so we just need to come up with a solution for the floor. So it was wood before. We don't want to do wood because of termites and water. So we ended up finding a couple of marble options, and we did not want shiny polished marble, which is very popular today. We wanted something more matte, which would be in keeping with the historic floors in this house. And we kind of like the octagon, I'm not in the shade, because of the kitchen floor. So we found a couple of options, and I wanted to check it against the color, but you can see this is so grossly dirty that there's no way to check the color. The back side of it looks very similar to these two options. This has got more gray and brown in it. This is more white with gray, but there's no way to tell what it's going to look like until I get this thing clean. So I've been downstairs collecting the scraper and rags in a bucket so I can start scrubbing and polishing this up to see what it is. And fortunately, the plumber brought some water in here so that he could fill that up for the pressure test today with the inspector, so I can stand here and fill my bucket and not go outside. So I'm going to get busy and start cleaning and scraping this and see what the top of it looks like. I got cleaning on this. It's very dirty and it's going to take a lot more than just my hand scrubbing, but I didn't get too far in the process because Chico tiles showed up. I'm not videoing much because I'm trying to stay out of their way, but they've got the first piece of backer board down and they siliconed the liner to the brick, and then they're using a thin set to attach this to the wall because we can't put screws into the wall. We could, but you can't countersink it into this, so we wouldn't be able to tile. And they'll do around the niche but not the back because I can tile directly on that. We could have tiled directly on this except for the liner down there. So this won't take them too long. When they finish, they'll come back and put the mortar bed in. So we had to have the floor tile of the shower because the shower drain has to be set to the depth of the tile. But that's exciting. All right, I fibbed earlier when they said they didn't come back today because of the weather. It's cleared up a little bit. It's getting brighter. The ground has dried because the water soaked in. So they are back and moving the scaffolding around for the third window. And when the scaffolding's gone, I can really get a clear shot of how these two look installed on this area. So y'all have met my friend Letitia before. We've known each other
a long time.
We won't count. We can't count.
We can't that far.
Since 6th grade. But she's on the board and she's very handy. She's got a really good decorating eye and she does a lot of things I can't do. And she's also really hard worker. She's helped me at so many projects and through
not as much as some of your
Harvey. But anyway, one of the projects we've done in the past is sewing. We sew together, and we have a project we're going to undertake, but we have to give you a little history because you said this just showed up in your Facebook memory.
Facebook memories. 14 years ago.
14. It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Anyway, I bought fabric to make drapes down there and dust ruffles for the beds, and I only had exactly enough fabric, and we measured, and we finally cut, and then we made the first curtain and went to hang it up, and it was like this much too short because we had one piece of scrap left, and we accidentally made the curtain out of the scrap. So anyway, we laughed so hard because we thought we'd just mess the whole thing up, but we didn't. But I found something when we were cleaning out the closet to put the Christmas decorations in, and we're going to hang the cornices up in the parlor that I've been working on for the last year, restoring. And the bride gave me a vision board, inspiration photo, and it was kind of a big room like the parlor, and it had like these whitish drapings in it. And I thought, wouldn't it be fun to just get some super cheap fabric and just hang from the cornices to give the illusion of drapes. But then I found this in that closet, and it's a very nice, kind of a polished cotton, and there's a lot of it, but it's kind of old and dirty. So we're going to roll it out and measure it and cut it. At this point, I'm still pretty confident about getting everything done by the wedding. Even though we started the week with 17 days left, I'm not great at math in my head, and losing 2 days off of that is about 10% of the time that we have to get ready for the wedding. So even though in my mind I have every day pretty fully scheduled and know what needs to be done, I'm still thinking there's time to do little extra things like this for the bride. We really are excited about the wedding and want everything to be perfect for her and her fiance, and this project just seemed like something fun Letitia and I can do. It ended up getting scrapped and we did not do it. We went through all the trouble to measure everything. It took us a while to get our brains around what we were doing because we are tired at this point, and we got it washed and cleaned up, but this didn't happen. I went out to check on what was going on with the shower installation, and I wanted to show y'all this. This is the texture of the concrete that they're putting in the floor, the mortar bed that's going in the shower floor. Now if you watch on YouTube, you see people putting in shower floors where they mix up pretty wet concrete and pour it in. That is not the right way to do it. When you put in that final layer of the shower floor, the mortar bed, where you actually set your tile, remember we have a layer on the bottom, then we have a waterproof shower pan liner. This is going on top. It needs this open pore structure for water to weep quickly through. No tile is completely waterproof, so what happens is you pack this in. It has a very open porous structure, and when water gets through the tile, it weeps through the mortar, goes down to that impermeable shower pan liner. And remember all the trouble we had getting it at an angle? That slope down to the drain, it slopes to the drain and it goes in weep holes in the drain and actually drains away. So there's a purpose to this. So if somebody's putting in a shower for you and they have wet cement, stop them immediately. That is not the way to go. And it's one reason I usually hire an expert to do this part of the process. It is kind of technical and it's very critical to the longevity of your shower and keeping it mold free and not having failure and rot. So it is something that's relatively skilled. You can do it, you just have to be careful and not mix that mortar too wet. It ended up being a pretty productive day, even though my husband couldn't come down. Getting this shower done is a big deal. Now that the backer board is up and the mortar bed is done, I can get in there and do the waterproofing and start putting the tile in, and having that shower complete is a really big remaining item in this apartment over here. And it's nice to have a professional do it. Again, having this dry, kind of sandy mixed mortar bed is critical to longevity in the shower. And with that, we wrapped up the day. Number 3 is going up. The next day we started in again. I think I misled you in the last video. We had one more set of shutters to put up. We had had some bad weather, but it cleared and McNatt and his group were able to come back and get that last set up, and we're so grateful to have these up before hurricane season, in addition to getting them out of the parlor. And then the electricians came, because another big thing we want to do is start running our permanent power in the house. So we've already brought the power in, and it kind of terminates in our box here, but we also still have that temporary pole that we need to get rid of. So they came to disconnect our temporary service, get rid of the pole, and put our temporary lighting temporarily in our main box so that this T-pole out in the yard can go. And because it's going, I decided to clean up this area some more. There's a lot to do, but I've decided to take this stump out because it bothers me. Can we reuse that? Can that be reused? Can that be reused?
Yeah, it's up to you. It's up to you. You can reuse it.
Okay.
Yeah.
The other thing that was supposed to happen the day before was our plumbing inspection. So while the electrician was here, the plumber came, and also the inspector showed up. So it was nice because the electrician was able to get with the inspector and talk through some issues that we have in the house so that we can move forward with our wiring there. And we passed our plumbing inspection. So great job, Bayou Plumbing and Jacob. We love getting a green tag on the first try. The next day we were up and at it early because my friends Stephanie and Glenn were here to help and pitch in. So we got to the house early to get them started on some projects. And I headed down to the Moody Mansion. The Moody Mansion has been wonderful to us from the very beginning. And I was meeting with Catherine Pickavance, their director, to go over their ticketing system, some things they've learned, and see how we might work jointly together. And as I was waiting for her, I got a chance to peruse their Mardi Gras exhibit that they had set up. The costumes were fabulous. So she and I had a great meeting, but then it was back to the house. So I don't know if you've met, this is Roman, this is Glenn, my friend Stephanie's husband. I guess he's my friend too. But this, you have to pick up and sit it on the ledge up there.
It's going to go on top of the little shelf.
Okay.
These little bracket things.
Yeah.
Just lean on the shelf. I have one little hook that I can snap it in. This is the top. So if you get up on that ladder and maybe
Carry that with you.
grab this end and somehow
So do I need to carry it up the ladder?
Yes, yeah.
you think is best way to
No,
get
it's
it.
not that heavy.
No,
I was
it's
just
not
saying
heavy.
it's extremely heavy.
It's just
Just very awkward.
I can understand that.
so you have to offer it.
So you got it?
I do that.
I can support the weight, but the twisting is the problem.
Okay, I got a lot of them.
Okay.
Here, watch the head.
Okay. All right. Now.
Towards you.
I don't see a similar hook on mine.
No, it's pulled out and the wood's damaged, so there's not one.
Good?
And then he's going to put a screw in that.
So you ought to be able to let go. I think it should be fine.
Yeah.
It's, so I'm going to
pretty
switch
safe.
because now I'm going to get on the ladder. I can put some screws in.
Okay.
Get me clambering awkwardly.
It's the getting down. Fun are you having?
So much fun, but more fun.
Why are you my friend?
Let me think about that.
Okay.
More fun than I'd be having in August.
Okay, more fun than August
More
doing
fun
this.
In August doing this. So
So
thank God
there you
it's
go.
March, but it's still a little warm.
There you go. My friends are crazy.
As are you.
That's
was
why we
looking
work
better.
well together. Stephanie is the other half of my brain. She's everything my brain is not. Organized,
Like a good team.
organized, thoughtful, planned
You're thoughtful.
in a
Not
different
so much.
way.
Yeah. You're strategically planned.
Yeah.
The big picture.
Stephanie's tactical. I'm
That's right.
strategic.
That's right. Gotta have both. Make it work.
Stephanie's more akin to Stuart. Likes to work all the way through completion before changing tasks.
That's
Whereas
true.
I get bored.
I prefer to
I
complete
am
things.
tactical, actually. My tactics are a little haphazard.
No comment.
No comment. Glenn, let's go show them what Glenn and I did.
Here, I brought you some water.
Well, Stephanie has been painting. Glenn and I took our scroungy plywood and it actually fit perfect. So my husband put a piece of sheetrock on this wall because we're contemplating permanently setting the sinks, although I think the plumber put the drain in the wrong place, so I've got to rethink this because the sink should be lined up over here. So I may have to swap the cabinets and move a water line, but that's okay. But then we had plywood that was already painted from the chauffeur's quarters temporary bathroom walls, and they fit very nice without really cutting anything other than that one tiny piece down there. And we had a long piece that fit out here and one that just slipped right in here. We framed on purpose, I don't know if you can see, let me get the light, so that we could slip 1-inch boards in here for this wall. So we need to clean the cabinet. Glenn scrounged some other boards, put on the back here, but then our crappy Ryobi saw battery died, even though it was fully charged, so we've got to recharge it and see if we can cut the last piece he found to go there, just to block this in and make it private. I need to run an extension cord in here and get a light, some kind of light hanging, and we need some kind of window covering. And then the plumber will come and set the toilet permanently. I'm going to make a sink top and tile and set these permanently. And then we took the door that we had on the chauffeur's quarters bathroom, and it fits right there. So you just need a saw.
Yes.
I have a jigsaw. An electric.
I'm not sure.
An electric jigsaw.
Is it
Oh
battery?
yeah. No, electric.
Okay. That'll
Electric.
probably work.
It's crappy too, but it works. I'll go get that. The legs are mangled on our couch. Roman is actually on the job trying to get this repaired before the wedding because it sits back in the corner to protect people from our rotted floor back there. But we are so excited to have the shutters. It's actually, we like them closed. It still lets in light, but it kind of blocks that view from the apartments over there. And we've been working hard to clean all the junk out of the parlor for the wedding. So a lot of furniture got moved upstairs, but our cornices and the remaining wood that we had stored over here are gone. But down in the basement, there's a lot going on. There's Glenn, our board member Stephanie's husband. He's waiting on me. We've been doing projects in the basement, but let me show you his first project this morning was in the bathroom. So he cleaned up the floor, pulled all the nails, did a little bit of light scraping, and he actually brought me a bunch of paint out of their garage because they're moving and don't need it anymore. And he had this dark brown, so it makes a nice transition from the hardwoods in. So we'll be getting next week our pedestal sink. You can see it back there, and the toilet. And we came up with a solution for the toilet. I think I told you we were worried about cutting it off and setting a toilet temporarily on the subfloor, because then when we go to add a real floor, it would just mess up the stack. So my husband built a platform for the toilet to go on so we can cut that higher, but he wanted to take it home and router the edges of it to make them smooth. So it's not installed yet, but he'll do that. We'll bring it back, paint it brown, and get the toilet in next week. And then we're going to hang a curtain across the back and close that off. And maybe we've got some scrap sheetrock. Just tack a couple pieces of sheetrock there and paint it off-white before the sink goes in, just to clean that up a little bit. But let me go downstairs. Oh, the other thing I did today is I ordered the subfloor material for in here, and I got a different product than I intended. Talking with the manager at McCoy's Lumber here in Galveston, he recommended something else. It's an 1.125", and it's got a name that I don't remember. So when they deliver it, I'll have to show you that. It is kind of a press board material, but it's not the, I think of OSB as kind of a cheap material, but it's something specifically made for subfloors and used a lot down here because of termites and moisture. So that sounded good to me. But Glenn and I, oops. Oh, there's Kathy. She's been down in the
Sweating and
dungeon,
dirty.
sweating in the dungeon. Poor thing.
More boards done though.
boards done. So we're working to get that wainscoting done for the apartment. So Kelly and Kathy have their workstation over there, and Kathy got a new method today with the, I call it a pin nailer. I don't know what
Yeah, I
you
don't know
call
what
it.
is. Finishing nails.
Anyways, to speed up the process a little bit, but she's been toiling all day long.
Yep.
Down there. Are you calling it?
Back. I'm calling it a day.
Calling it a
Enough
day.
is
I don't
enough.
blame you.
Yeah. All right. See you later.
All right, bye. All right, Stephanie's painted herself in a corner. We're gonna have to work to get her out of there. But she was putting a second coat on all the walls down here, which really needed it. It was very splotchy and it's a little cramped to work, and she's got very long legs. So we may have to get in there and help her up, but it looks really good. So she started way over in the corner over there and worked her way around My husband's not here today. He woke up last night in the middle of the night with severe back and leg pain, so he is on injured reserve and resting today to see if he can get his leg functional again. It's always something when you're old, but Glenn was just opening the door over there. We're going to move this. This is an extra dishwasher that our volunteer Sherry had a friend who had it in their house, and I don't know the whole story because I wasn't here, but apparently they ran it one time, I guess when they were buying the house and going through inspections, and the minute they got in they changed it out and upgraded it, and we're getting rid of it. So it's brand new. It's only been used once. We don't need it here because we bought one, but we will take it over and we're going to get it out of here and store it in the other. We're going to get the two-wheeler, if I can figure out where that is, and get that, oh, there it is over there, and get that dishwasher moved and get at it, because Walter did not write our countdown today, but I think we are 2 weeks and 1 day away, so we have got to hustle. All right, the driver is scared. He's the one that rode the fence last time, but he's in a smaller truck, and he wasn't going to back in, but I told him if he came straight he can at least cut some of the distance off. I'll be here to scream. Oh, oh, oh. So this is our floor. It's called Advantech subflooring. Alright, I don't know if this is true or not because I just looked it up on my phone, but the internet says that each one of these sheets weighs 125 pounds. So, he is strong out front. Okay, I looked it up. It said each one weighs 125 pounds. Do you think that's right? Feels like it. This one. It is one of those crazy busy days, just hopping back and forth between projects. Glenn and I finished up our project. Stephanie's still painting, so we decided to start scrubbing down the concrete areas in the bedroom of the chauffeur's apartment. It's never been cleaned. It's kind of gross, and we want to paint this. And this mortar or plaster, whatever you call it, is very porous, so it soaks up a lot of water. So we're going to have to clean it and let it dry several days before we can paint it. So Stephanie finished up. She came in to help. It's not a hard process. It's just kind of wet and messy. So while they're scrubbing, I decided to get the mop and use that water falling down to do a little bit of the floor cleanup in here. Anything we can do to get rid of dust is beneficial in this house. We also had to move some sheetrock out of the way. This is that heavy fire rated stuff, and water and sheetrock do not mix well, so we don't want to ruin this piece of sheetrock. So Glenn and I took it over to the other side, and I kind of continued to piddle around and clean up this area. I know we look messy all the time, but it is easier to work in a space that's clear and doesn't have a lot of extraneous tools and things in it. So this is a good opportunity just to do some straightening and cleaning, and again the mopping to keep the dust down. This is still a very dirty, dusty area with all the sheetrock work going on, and it takes months for sheetrock dust to completely settle. So with that, we wrapped up another busy work day. We are, what did I say, 2 weeks away from the wedding. Time is getting short. Now my husband's back is hurt. I don't know what's going to happen with him, so I'm getting a little bit nervous about getting this apartment finished. The goal was to have it finished and get Kelly moved over here. That was a very aggressive schedule. I don't think that's going to happen at this point, so I'm starting to move to plan B in my mind. We always have a plan A, B, C, D, E on down the line because you just never know what's going to happen in an old house like this. So I'm going to stop for today on the videos and do some work at the house. I'm here working on the video because I didn't quite get finished, and we're actually open today on a Sunday because the Historical Foundation is having their annual home tour, and the weekend's always busy for us for tours. So I'm going to go get at it and see if I can get this video posted. I'm running a little bit late, but y'all tune back in next week because we are really under the gun and there is so much to do still before the wedding, and you don't want to miss how it all turns out. Thanks for watching. We're the League-Kempner House in Galveston, Texas.